Pass almost crossed a couple times, but nothing's ever happened. Classified up in the house.
How you feeling?
Very good, man. What's going on?
This is it, man. We back in Ottawa. Finally down at the new hot 89. So it's good to be up here, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you here. I don't know how we haven't met, because it's such a small.
We should have crossed paths many times.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just saying, hot 89 was the first station ever played my record on a commercial level. So you know what I mean. I don't know why we have to bump into each other yet.
Yeah. What was that feeling like?
That was crazy, man. That was, back in 2003, 2004, when we really started just touring. I remember we were driving around Ontario, coming from somewhere, and we headed on your station. I remember here, Unexpected, which, it's 8 years ago now, and that was the first time I ever heard my stuff on that level of radio. So it was crazy, man. It was like me and my boys in the car, and we're just windows down, blasted, enjoying it.
That's a good feeling, eh?
Hey, it's crazy. Man.
I always say, you make it too as an artist too when you go to a strip bar and you find out one of the strippers dancing to your joints.
That's when you know you're doing something right.
You gotta love that brass pole when your song's on, right? You know what I mean? But we don't go there at all. We never do. All right,
fellas.
So you're in town. I know you got a show tonight, but one thing I didn't know about you. Dude, you got a crazy amount of music. You got 14 albums.
Yeah, man. This one we dropped this week is number 14.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. But no, it was, it wasn't like 14 albums that were majorly put out. It was like, I started writing my rhyme thing when I was like 16 years old. And I knew no one was putting my stuff out, so I just put it out myself, you know what I mean? So this is the days of the cassettes. I put out my first 3 cassettes, and I had an independent label pick up my first CD.
By the way, never say cassettes because we're going to date ourselves. We're in the music
late.
industry. We got to say we're 22 for life.
But yeah, no, man, it was just like, you know what I mean? Just kept doing it, kept putting out my own music, and yeah, 15 years later, here we are at album 14.
Wow, that's amazing. It's a nice story that you have because you busted your ass.
Straight up.
It's not an overnight success for you.
Definitely not.
It's a hustle.
Yeah, man. Like a lot of people think, some people might think that Oh Canada was kind of my first thing, and I think it went to a whole new audience. But I think people who follow hip hop and know what's up, they know I've been doing this for years, and been doing the touring thing, putting out records, putting out videos and albums, and being fairly successful with it. So it's I'm in a good position right now.
Middle fingers. Ain't that the truth about life?
That's life right there, baby.
Have you noticed how many friends have stuck by you through the thick and thin with this, and who are the fake friends?
Definitely. I still have the same friends I had since grade 3. Like, it was a group of like 3 or 4 of us that I still hang out with, every other weekend to have some drinks with. But no, I still got the same, close friends. I met a lot of other people throughout the years and stuff, and a lot of fake people come and go. But once you do this for a while, you can kind of see people's, what their agenda is, I guess. And, you kind of take it for what it's worth, but,
Well, your song that ain't classy. I can tell you're a classy person, though.
I try to be.
I
have my bad nights.
Yeah, we all have.
You gotta have that dirty night once in a while.
We wouldn't be human if we didn't, you know what I mean? Do me a favor, describe your album in 3 words. Your new one.
Growth, reality, hip-hop.
All right. That sounds good.
I hope that interests somebody.
Now, I was watching you on the Junos.
Liquor.
We got the X-rated version and the PG version right there for you. Now, I was watching you on the Junos, and you're right beside my boy Wes.
Maestro.
Yes, and I was told you were tall, but I didn't realize how tall you were. I grew up with Wes; he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But how tall are you really? Like
6'4", I'd say. 6'4", 4.5.
Damn. And that's without your heels on, right?
That's without the heels. When I get the heels on, I'm a 7-footer.
You're dunking easy, aren't you? Now you're out in, is it Milford, Nova Scotia?
That's where I went to school, actually, Milford, Nova Scotia. But I live in Enfield, Nova Scotia.
Okay, how close is that to like Halley and all that?
It's about a half hour outside Halifax, right beside the airport. If you're in the Halifax airport, instead of going left to the city, you go right. It's the first exit. Small little town, population like 3,000. Out the woods.
Nice. Well, I'm an East Coaster by heart. My parents are Newfies.
Nice.
All right,
I love the Newfies.
You gotta love the Newfies there by Lord Thunder and Jesus. Now, I've never been up to Halifax myself.
All right.
What's it like? Describe it like for someone that's never been there.
Halifax is chill. It's it's right on the coast. You know what I mean. So you get your a little bit warmer of winter and a little bit cooler of a summer. But I don't know. I find most towns in Canada are people-wise are genuinely the same. People are good people. People are nice, easy to get along with. They'll let you cross the street and won't run you over. And it's rains one day, snows the next, and sunny the next. So it's Seems like to be the same, and sometimes all the same day. So
was it tougher for you to make a name for yourself because you're in Halifax? Because it doesn't seem like very much of a hip hop oriented city or anything.
I think it definitely had its positive negatives. It was definitely hindering that way because there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. It wasn't like there was a big scene and there was labels looking to sign hip hop artists. But at the other end of it, I knew that. So it was like, I really got to try to do something special and come up with my own type of image or music, whatever you want to call it, so people would pay attention. There's a lot of guys who came home where I'm from trying to sound like they're from New York, trying to sound like they're from LA, and people don't want to hear that. They know you're not from LA or New York. Don't front like you are. And it's like, talk about where you are and what you kind of go through, and people seem to relate to that.
You're saying things that I think and I say all the time, my friend. So it's basically be yourself.
Straight up. That's, I think, how you make real long-term fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to know who you are and what you're about. And if you're going to come out faking, it's going to be hard to keep that up after 15 albums. So, you got to be yourself, and I think people respect that.
And you know what? And I thank you for being yourself, because I'm actually a fan of your music and that. And I'm a house head. I love my hip-hop too, don't get me wrong, but I like the way you flow. I like the way you put your beats together, everything.
Respect, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoothness. And you both open up for some big cats too.
Yeah, man. Learned a lot from those big shows. You played with Snoop, Ludacris, Busta, Black Eyed Peas, The Game. Pretty much anybody you can, name that came through, we've opened up for, man. And it's wicked, man. I love playing shows like that because you get to see these artists you grew up on, steal some of their moves. And just,
they give you, I know some artists are real shy when they're out on tour. They don't talk with the opening acts and stuff like that. Like everyone thinks you're always hanging out 24/7. It ain't like that.
No.
But some really do go to the way to check out your shows or give you helpful advice. Is there any artist that is...
Well, just even like on the weekend we played in Toronto, Pete Rock opened up, who's like a legendary
Wow!
DJ. Yeah, and
really?
Pete Rock sat on the side of the stage.
That's history, y'all.
Straight up, Pete Rock, see how smooth. He stayed on the side of the stage and watched my whole show, and went and bought 3 CDs, like my last 3 CDs after the show. And his manager came out and was like, "Yo, Pete loved your stuff. He went and bought your album." And that alone for me is like, that's like Dr. Dre. That's like Primo. Like that's Pete Rock. He produced half of Illmatic.
He's the one that started Dre.
Straight up, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy for me. So just things like that makes a big difference for me. Because like you said, a lot of artists you play with, like Snoop, I played with Snoop 3 or 4 times, and we've only ever talked once, kind of said what's up.
Yeah.
So a lot of artists keep themselves and kind of just get the rest from the road. So when an artist does that, it really, it makes you feel good.
Yeah. Well, man, keep doing what you're doing, right? Because, this is like your second home. We were the first to drop you way back in 03.
Straight up.
So this door's always open for you to roll through.
With much respect,
all right.
man.
Want to say what's up to your boy that's in there?
KO's in the place tonight. He's going to be opening up the show tonight.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring him through. We just finished up his new EP. We put it out. I produced it. And he's coming up. He lives in Halifax, born and raised in St. Lucia. He just came up here.
St. Lucia, boy.
Yes.
All right. Star. Bring some of that Caribbean weather this time, all right?
That's right. He's trying, man. He's not used to this cold.
None of us are. I'm Canadian and I'm not used to this cold. All right. Classified, up in the house, inside your afternoon hot seat with KennyB. Thanks for chilling, bro.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Go.